Good
Greetings
evening,
all.
everybody. My name is Moxwall. This is NetMercur, and joining me today is Xander of Xanadu. Xander, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
I'm very glad to be here, Moxwell. Thank you for having me.
You have been playing Noise. Tell us about that.
Correct. Since there was a person who got 5th place inside one of the southern states of the U.S. That had played Noise, and they had done pretty well for themselves, and now Blue Moose came out, so pretty much every card that you install out, which you want to install out cards in Noise in the first place, is then worth 2 credits in addition to its immediate install value, which, trash card on R&D or Imp, and then you start using Imp or Parasite and you blow up some ice. So Noise is in a really good position nowadays because of Blue Moose, and also, I don't know, I didn't really think that he was in that bad of a place.
A lot of people
before.
seem to think that Noise had fallen to the back seat because of the clone chip on the first MWL.
Well, yeah, but that just means that one archetype of Noise is put at a disadvantageous position, not necessarily that Noise the ID does. Because, with clone chip being on the MWL, you have to pay an additional influence in an already tight influence set, and, your on-the-run type effects are reduced. You can't necessarily bring out a Parasite to use your previously established data sucker tokens to be able to blow up ice on the run. But certainly the decks that focus more on milling the opponent through installing things, they're still viable. I mean, you're just spending your influence elsewhere. You're just doing a lot less of that hot and sexy click efficiency where you're installing while running.
You remember the can of whoop-ass deck?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm referring to.
When you talk about the sexy version.
When it comes to... Yeah.
I wonder, do you think that the less run, the more mill version of Noise is sort of similar to how NBN can be really swingy?
Where NBN either gets some form of kill combo off or has difficulties fast advancing because of the... Yeah. That's interesting, for one, how they changed NBN from fast advance towards tag and bag. But we'll not get onto that. I'll answer your question. Yeah, I'd say so. There are a lot more of matchups that you feel helpless in, but there are a lot of matchups in which you dominate. The thing is, though, is that I think it has to do with player skill, potentially, because I've played against people who, do those sync boom style decks where, that non-interactive form of 24/7 news cycling, a breaking news to then boom you. Yeah. But with the deck that I've been running, I've played a couple test games against that, and I've been able to get a headlock on the opponent's HQ, and then just trash out all the cards that I can get access to, and then try to blow up their combo by just installing out more viruses. And I mean, that's just the benefits of Resistor being 0 strength, and having just really good disposable breakers.
Bull Moose is definitely, Blue Moose?
Blue.
Definitely an incredible power card, economically speaking. I am very surprised it doesn't have influence.
Yeah. So, I think his name's Biokin. He's that guy we were talking about earlier before we got on.
Yeah.
He was talking about, he was doing one of those theory crafting style videos, which again, I suggest that people check out. But in his theory crafting video, he was discussing the economic benefits of it, and it essentially makes every single, it's like you pump an Opus clickless at the beginning of your turn, and by doing that, it devalues just like the clicking for credits to a large degree, where now, if you just clicked for credits, it's not really comparable towards economy you could be getting elsewhere. It's just a great card. I think that it's going to be on MWL either as a 1 or 2 influence.
That makes a lot of sense. It's going into so many different styles of decks.
Oh yeah. It's just a good card anywhere. It's not even influence. You compare it to that what is it? Not compromise. Underworld contact. Yeah, you compare it to that card, which is 2 credits to play, and then it has a conditional gain 1 credit at the beginning of your turn. This card's conditional is, do you have a card in your discard pile? Sorry.
Right.
Do you have a card in your heap? Which presumably you do. And then, so it's active the first turn that you play it. Granted, it is 4 credits, but also it's 2 credits per turn. For one click
that's
to
just
install.
An incredible amount. I mean, that's daily cast. It never goes away.
Yeah. And also, sure, you can have 3 daily casts out at the same time, but this is a one-of unique card that synergizes with itself in the sense that you don't want those in your hand in the first place. Either that or you just want them there to, say, soak up some damage against a Jinteki deck. So you're just sacking the other copies of it anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Noise, I'd say, is in a good position. Time will tell. I don't think that a lot of people is going to be playing him. And, that's just as a result of us moving very, very slowly, and not fast enough, out of the asset spam meta, in which Wizard is
the king.
Almost
Wizard's the king of
forced choice. Yeah, well, thankfully, very soon he's going to be dead. But
I'm a little worried about what they're going to have to put into the game to tamp down on asset spam. I think that asset spam is kind of an oversight in the design, in the initial construction of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can put down so many threats that the runner just can't deal with, either economically or... Especially because they may have to trash unresed things, right? That kind of skews the mathematics of it. And Wizard is so popular because it just hammers that. It covers that hole so well.
And then you just played Anarch good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But now that Wizard's not going to be in the meta, what else is going to fill that hole?
Well, when's Scrubber going away?
Same time as Wizard.
Oh, wow, really? We have Parisia. That's in the expansion.
Parisia can do it.
I mean, the thing is that they don't have cards that have come out recently on the runner side that target assets other than, sure, you have, Sulset Slums, and sure, you just have more credits in general because, we had Tamushin Contract come out, and Blue Moose has come out, and we got Frantic Coding going for Magnum Opus. So, we have a lot, more stable and a lot faster of an economy, but we don't have cards that synergize with trashing assets. Oh, Gravedigger. Gravedigger exists.
That's true. But Gravedigger doesn't help you trash assets directly.
No, but it does counter asset spam in the sense that firing an Estelle Moon means that you're going to mill one of their cards. Every card that you trash is going to mean that you're going to mill one of their cards on R&D. The more cards that you mill on R&D decreases the value of a Friends in High Places because you need to Friends in High Places reactively as compared to proactively. So, you do a non-tempo building Friends in High Places in order to get back a Jackson and maybe one card that's necessary, and then they use the Jackson to get agendas out of their discard pile. Some can very validly argue that you're just giving them more cards to bring into play with their recursion, but...
Through the milling.
Yeah, through the milling. Similar to why there are arguments for why trashing, the top card of the stack of the runner isn't a good choice, and that's why, some of those cards, within certain contexts, don't see play. However, I would much prefer my opponent to need to recur something reflexively, rather than...
Giving them the opportunity to do it proactively?
Yep, as in they play it twice.
Right. You do deny them the opportunity of playing it twice, and you also make them make a choice between, do I want thing A or thing B? Whereas if they were able to draw all those things, they would get both A and B, and then the better of A and B later with their one recursion tool.
Yep. That's what we're talking about. And that's why I think that the argument that other people provide for, oh, you're just giving them more accesses to cards is kind of, I mean, it's valid, but like there are arguments that go against it that people don't bring up because it just becomes this like, hive mind thing where we just regurgitate the same argument amongst the Netrunner community.
Well, before we jump into this game, I need to give a quick thank you to Basterkeg and Falsky. Thank you guys so much for the follows on Twitch. That means so much to me. Xander, are you ready to start this game?
Yes. Answer, yes.
Alright, here we go. We've got Max versus HB, Engineering the Future.
Alright, so as you'll notice from my first turn, this is an Estelle Moon deck.
Oh, nice. Gotta love it.
Oh, yay. Let me mute this. And what do you know?
There she is.
Oh, hey girl. Hey girl, hey.
This card is going on the MWL. Seems pretty clear. I think I've heard Boggs say so explicitly.
I was listening to some of the like breaking news podcasts and like Agenda 7. And I think that the statement was, do not be surprised if she's on the MWL, of which, I mean, if there's ever going to be someone that you're gonna like make an official statement,
it's gonna be the designer.
Well, yeah, but I just don't understand why you just wouldn't make an official statement on something like that. Like, this card is vitriol. Like, let's get real.
It's a card that I think that it could be really good. It could have a really healthy place in the meta if there was just something else reining it in. I think that the ability for it to get tokens limitlessly and the trash, I don't even think that, and the trash to fire the gaining cards and credits. I don't even. I think that not having to spend a click to make the card fire is fine. I think the biggest problem is that it can get. You don't have to spend a click to fire it, so you can fire it on the runner's turn, and it can get an unlimited number of those tokens. If either one of those were different, I think the card would be in a better place. Yeah, the solution that I see for it is something like having it fire when it has a certain number of tokens on it.
Well, I mean, you got you got God of War.
God of War in the bin there.
Oof, I am interested in what you all got going there. Nice 3 sure gambles already discarded and or used. I think you used 2 the first turn.
I used 2, yeah. I gotta wonder if I'm gonna run without any way to break a Fairchild. I think I'm gonna go for it, actually.
Ooh, fancy man, and I'm not gonna res. I don't know. Estelle Moon needs to either be a 1 or 2 on the most wanted list. I think it not having a limit isn't the worst thing in the world. And what I mean by that is, if they draw 7 cards, then that's just 7 cards closer to you milling them out through some means. Like, the way that people play Netrunner kind of has to change for Estelle Moon. I mean, Estelle Moon either increases fast, well, it does many things, but it increases fast advance and also, increases click efficiency for
the core.
For asset spam based decks. Yeah. Presuming that your corp either installs cards inside one heavy defensive server or does asset spam. But like right here, your job of targeting all of these assets is doing a lot to my ability to resist you.
Yes, but I'm gonna run out of money at some point.
And won't we all? I said that somewhat sarcastically because...
No, I don't think that you will. At some point, you're gonna have limitless cash.
And then you have Obelisk. Okay, yeah, all right. Ooh, this is cool. Everyone put this in their calendar as the day that they see counter surveillance played inside a Max deck for the first time on stream. Ooh, look at this fancy dude. I'm just gonna let you trash this, and you're probably gonna ask me why didn't I res that. I'm gonna tell you, I don't have a flipping clue.
Do you want to res it?
No.
Okay. Do I want to pay 3 for this? I really don't want to pay 3 for this. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I didn't want to pay 3 for it, and, here we are. Here we are.
I've got 2 clicks left here, huh? Let's do that and gain a credit.
Well,
6 cards in archives on your 5th turn. That's pretty. A lot.
Yeah, and surprisingly,
I trashed all of them.
Yes. So far, you've trashed every card that I've installed out. And I have not seen any of my localized production lines, and I'm now questioning whether I should have tried to mulligan for one of them, because if I would have been able to get out 3 turtlebacks or 3 encryption protocols on the first or second turn, then that would have very much made me be in a position where right out of the gate I was in the lead, which Netrunner kind of seems to be about nowadays.
Do you like to trash? Do you like to mulligan for specific cards? I really don't like doing it.
Well, I mean, it really depends. Like, am I mulliganing out of a bad hand, or am I mulliganing into a specific hand?
You've got some mediocre hand, right? Some average hand, and you're saying, I will intentionally...
Oh. Wait, one question.
What's up?
When you made that first run, you had 3 clicks mid-run.
Because Joshua B had given me a click.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Yep, that makes sense. I like to think I live dangerously in Netrunner. I'm pretty sure we all kind of like to think that we live dangerously.
I think I live too dangerously, to be perfectly honest. One of the things that, like, when I'm practicing, I have to focus on is, like, don't die. Don't die.
Yeah, not dying is an important skill in Netrunner. Simultaneously, not dying also means that you're not doing Hail Mary plays. And sometimes a Hail Mary play is exactly what you need in order to secure your win.
That's true. I mean, there are a couple of moments I can think back to where I was down and I just kind of dug deep and found it.
Dug deep and found it? Oh yeah, those like spicy 3 clicks of drawing cards, last click inside job.
Yeah, something like that. Or I have to win on HQ, or excuse me, I have to win on R&D or I'll be locked out forever, so I'll just eat a bunch of brain damage and lose all my programs, no big deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, every Netrunner player should be verifying what options they have that causes them to win. Like, every Netrunner player should be seeking to obtain the win con that they have available to them. Whether that means that you're running face first into ice that will give you brain damage because, that's just where you're at in the game. It's really your call at that point. I would always do it personally. Just because, like, there's nothing honorable about, like, living safe in Netrunner. Agenda lost. But to answer your question, I usually, on first hands, I usually try to go with something that works and that I know is going to work, as compared to
giving yourself some plays. So you're going to mulligan a hand that has no plays.
Yeah, definitely. Like if I get 5 agendas in my hand, then
gotta go.
Obviously, like if I get I really think that Mullen Keep series that's done on StimHack, very much. I think paying attention to that is a good way of determining in what situations should you be looking for a better hand, and in what situations should you be staying with what you have. And I think that those type of decisions, they're very contextual, because it requires you to kind of have somewhat of an awareness of what your opponent's going to be playing. And, I don't think that there's a right answer in a lot of cases. A lot of Netrunner is just flying by the seat of your dang pants,
Absolutely.
Ugh. God, Mars for Martians is such a good card.
Yeah, that felt okay, playing it right there.
Well, it's certainly going to feel better when you have, 8
more
tags
clan
on
stuff played out.
Well, I don't know. Do you really want more clan stuff inside your deck? There are those decks that specifically deal meat damage to yourself in order to discard entire hands, but that's kind of you have to invest into that archetype,
You do.
Yeah, you have to build your entire deck about that. You can't just put that card in your deck and just be like, hey, this is a clan card. And judging from the fact that it doesn't look like you're dealing meat damage to yourself by mad dashing on my servers constantly.
No.
Yeah.
And I would have to have that card installed too. What is that called?
Clan Vengeance.
Clan Vengeance,
3 credits to play. I don't know how many influence it is, though. It's just one of those cards that you never would really splash.
I'm just going to gain 2 credits at the end of my turn.
Hey, that's understandable. Boo.
I really would have liked to trash that Turtlebacks.
Oh, I bet you would. God. I've seen every agenda in my deck other than one. That's
yeah, that's not good.
C'est la vie, fly by the seat of your pants, and yada yada. Yeah, I am concerned what's going to happen once the first and second cycles and their asset spam cards, or their asset spam hate cards, are gone.
Right.
Because, where do we have... we have Anais Informant, we have... we have Anais Informant, we have Parisia, we have Bad Pub, we have... we have Desperado, we have cards that give us additional clicks. We don't really have anything that gives us money dedicated to trashing assets or cards in general, which I don't necessarily think is, necessary, but it does put us in a awkward position.
I think that one thing that will be very important is giving each of the factions a way of addressing asset spam that feels thematic to the faction, but is also impactful. So Anarchs obviously have this trashing thing, and so sure, just give them stuff that trashes cards. Another asset 8 card I think is Credit Crash, although that's a little bit of a softer asset hate card.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You do still get that successful run and can fire
a bunch of other things. God. And
yeah, wait, does Anais Informant fire when you do one of those crashes? Yeah.
It's possible.
Because I'm pretty sure it's the Corpooch uses to trash it.
I think that's right. I think that you're right.
Do you still access it? We could look that up right now, but also that would stop us from playing this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, a decision. A decision. By the way, this is a bother of a game.
A bother? I'm not familiar with that term.
Oh, like Winnie the Pooh, oh bother.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Got off a second Mars for Martians.
Yeah, with 1 credit draw and 1 card draw and 5 credits. It's pretty good.
The double red. Thanks for the follow. What am I gonna do here? I've got a levy in the bin. Don't want to lose that to that dumb thing that you might play.
Mm-hmm. Any good Engineering the Future Estelle Moon deck has one of them. And I do have two localized products. So
I'm gonna go ahead and get it back. I'm gonna drop a countermeasure, or excuse me, a counter surveillance, and I'm gonna gain some credits.
Ooh. Living dangerously.
I feel the most dangerous thing I've been doing is letting you have any type of economy in the form of turtlebacks, and now you have a clone suffrage movement, which is been sick.
It's a little bit, maybe. I don't know how much it's gonna suck. I suppose you're just gonna have to find out, dude. And then, my R&D is incredibly porous to your crazy multi-access. Let's just slap that there, and then let's just, res up this turtlebacks, and then let's play friends in play friends in high places, and slap that card out there, and then, maybe if my parents really loved me, I wouldn't be playing a Estelle Moon deck. Yeah. So
if your parents really loved you, you wouldn't be playing an Estelle Moon deck.
That was really just.
You're just reaching, man.
Yeah, I'm just reaching. I don't know. I don't think it's as good as people give it credit for, but that is not to say that it is not a good deck. Because, I've probably gotten into 75 to 100 games with it, and here I am. Oh.
Huh?
You could not afford to use what?
Wait, hold on. Make a run if successful. Pay X. Oh, yep, you're right. I have 6 tags. Might be.
Oh, you need to pay exactly the amount.
You have to pay exactly. Credits? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you in.
Wow. Wow, that's. I did not notice that. That is.
I missed that too.
That is an interesting design choice right there.
I like how constricted this card is.
Yeah. Because, there's just you can't get too many tags, because then you stop being able to reasonably pay for that card.
Well, you can if you have Mars for Martians!
And account siphon spam.
That's true. Although it does not appear that I've got account siphon spam.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the very least, I haven't seen it. Wait, no, yeah, so that's the same thing. And so here we are at the point where you
have reached critical mass.
I'm playing with a reasonably tiny monitor, and you're fucking right, I've reached critical mass. It is getting difficult, let's just say that. And I'm about to Friends in High Places out 2 more assets.
Again!
Oh, I'm a rascal. Get an encryption protocol and tech startup.
I gotta admit, I'm really digging this Clan Vengeance Max deck, or excuse me, Counter Surveillance Max deck.
Oh yeah, rightfully so, dude. Rightfully so.
I'm gonna Mars it for the Martians. I'm going to dirty laundry on your clone suffrage movement.
What? Encryption protocol.
Wiggity whack.
Encryption protocol.
Oh no.
Go for it, dude.
+4 to trash? That's fine. I'm gonna play this. Sure gamble.
Oh, another nice thing about Blue Moose. I know we're not playing it right now.
Sure.
With Levy, you can, if you run a deck that has, events that are high impact, you just Blue Moose
everything but those high impact events.
Yeah, and then you just draw 5. Ooh, wow, 3 account siphons.
Yeah. This deck should probably have Bull Moose in it, honestly.
It's just a good card in Max. there's been so many Max decks that I've seen with like Magnum Opus, Ma, and Blue Moose, and it's just like,
yeah, right. I think that I would personally change this Obelisk to a Ma, and try to find space for a Bull Moose in here.
Ma's just a stupidly good card, dude. And by stupidly good, I mean not stupidly good. It's relatively well balanced, in my opinion.
I think it's one of the best consoles as far as balance goes.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, like, you have Maui come out, which, like...
Yeah, what is that card? Ugh.
I don't think Maui is really comparable. I mean, it's not as bad as people give it shit for. Like, I'm just gonna say that right now. I just simply disagree with the fact that it's like vastly inferior to so many other cards. Like,
but even being moderately inferior is enough in Netrunner.
Oh yeah, certainly. But there still are going to be. It's a cash refresh card. Let's just say that. I would put it in a deck, like a Gabe deck of cash refresh, and just not feel awkward in the slightest. You know, like it's.
All right, riddle me this.
Okay.
Is it coincidence that there was this specific island-themed shtick in our Netrunner cycle, and Disney also released a specific Pacific Island-themed movie? Am I just crazy for thinking that, or something going on here? Is there something in the zeitgeist that we need to be on? Radia is booping in the JNet chat.
Beep bop boop. Beep bop beep bop doop bop bop. I am not a conspiracy theorist. However, I do consume conspiracy theorist content. I would say no, but I would find it interesting. In the Minnesota sense of interesting.
The Minnesota sense of interesting is what?
Yeah, you never heard of that?
No. What's the Minnesota sense of interesting? Radia, for some reason, Twitch wasn't loading the chat log.
Our apologies, Radia. And also, I'm not currently on it, so I guess you very well are appropriately criticizing me for that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Kings having to trash that feels bad.
Oh, there are gonna be more bad things.
No more bad things.
Oh yeah, there is.
Oh gosh, it's just gonna come back now.
Yep.
Now you're gonna make money for.
And then I'm gonna, draw my card, and then I'm going to diversified portfolios, and then I'm gonna Helion beta test.
No, what does this do?
I guess I don't need to boost it. Dude, Helion beta test is just like a really spicy card inside Estelle Moon, because like you want to trash the assets, and they're gonna be decreasing their money.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you're playing Hellion beta test. I think I tried to play the first Hellion testing card inside of Making News.
Hey, you want to respond to Radia?
I am going to respond, and I was trying to find the deck, Radia, that you linked to me, and this was the counter surveillance deck that I found instead. And prevent the trashing of wireless net pavilion. Done.
But I was targeting the.
Doesn't it work like that? I'm pretty sure it works like that. Is your mind blown right now?
Yeah, I guess. I suppose. I thought they were simultaneous, so then that way, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just dumb.
You're not dumb.
Well, got that for the more professional games. Radio, you didn't send him a link on it, or were you just like mentioning it within?
I think what happened is that the link was set to like not share on Netrunner DB when I was looking at it.
I think that counter surveillance is a good option against this Estelle Moon bullshit. Because, like, not only are you running a card that gives you additional clicks that then converts into tags, additional clicks being useful for trashing assets, you also get more accesses on an already porous deck. Like, I mean, you know, granted I got Agenda flooded really early on, but I kind of agree with you and Radia. Or at the very least, I'm going to be more of a proponent of that than you guys are. And I'm just going to say that it is a good counter, you know?
I have found this matchup to be more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Weirdly, that's the sensation that I get playing Estelle Moon nowadays. I'm just like, wow, I actually thought that was more interactive than, I thought it could have been.
Yeah. I think the designers have done a great job of pushing the game in new directions. It has certainly felt very uncomfortable at times.
Oh, yeah. Like Moonbad Cycle with the stronger on the lockdown. What you mean by that, Radia? On the Lockdown sounds like a really cool, gent metal band. Throwing that out there. On the Lockdown. Like
it definitely it reminds me of like a Sirius XM radio station, because those radio stations are like the Loft, the Sunroom. Then you could definitely have the Lockdown.
All right. Like I'm at that point.
Are you a fan of metal? I'm a big metalhead.
Yeah. I'm. For like 2 years, I've been the vocalist of like this melodic metalcore band.
Nice. Radio. Having no siphons is kind of brutal.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Radian. And I don't know, like the Twin Cities isn't necessarily known for its music scene, but I would personally, I'm a huge proponent of the bands that come from here. Like, After the Burial, you have Aetheric. You have By the Thousands. Like, I mean, sure, they're not like international, like world known, but they're really freaking impressive and skilled musicians. Of which I've only ever embarrassed myself in front of them, so.
Looks like you've got more servers. There we go. Here's a remote going down. 2 ice in it.
Yep. Just in case I actually need to advance something out. Whoa. Alright. Congratulations, Xander. There are no assets to be installed for my Discard pile. Archives.
Finally.
So like, people comment about how Netrunner is quote-unquote not accessible, and one of the reasons for why some people say that is because they're confused by all the different names for things.
That makes sense, roughly.
Yeah. I mean, like, as compared to, like, Magic, I don't know. I think that's just, like, an example of one of those, like, superfluous things that isn't really relevant to the actual game, but rather exists as something that justifies someone, Oh yeah, me too, Radio. I mean, like, there's a reason why we play Netrunner and not Magic.
And I think the theme of Netrunner and the polish on the theme, in terms of the goofy terminology, helps kind of like keep you from focusing on how brutally mathsy this game is.
Oh yeah. This game is mega math.
We'll meet you out there this afternoon.
I think a lot of people have gotten into this game because they have a CS background.
Yeah, I mean, like, me, I'm going to community college for computer science, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this game, is because it's just all of the flavor, all of the actions are so, like, there's a reason for why when I go to tournaments, I'm just chit-chatting with people, and like 3/4 of them say that they're in some form of tech industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it is very common right now to be in tech.
Well, hopefully, otherwise people are just going to get, their labor made automatic and then, turn it into some form of despot poor people that no longer are capable of working for a living inside a capitalist system that doesn't necessarily, believe in...
You make it sound so bleak.
Wow, it's almost as if Netrunner's real life. I'm kidding. Netrunner's not real life. Netrunner and dystopia in itself, specifically cyberpunk dystopia, is more of like a critique on what happens to late-stage capitalism without any form of universal basic income. But
are you on the UBI train?
I'm open to it. I like to think that I'm never closing off options and arguments. Like, if someone comes to me with like some really good, valid justification for why it's just, absolute trash, and any person that, believes in it is some form of a
literal Hitler?
Well, I mean, certainly, more libertarian conservatives that don't believe in UBI, because there are libertarians that believe in UBI. Yeah, no, I agree with that. We need to have some form of way for income to be provided to those who have had their labor made automated. If truck driving is the U.S.
Wait, I should just break this. Never mind. So I'm going to continue.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, and I think we just passed a law that made it so that way we couldn't do automatic driving trucks. And I think the large argument for that was because they don't react well to humans, in the sense that they can't necessarily preempt human action, and so they would require driving lanes for themselves.
I wouldn't
that's
be
not a real
against
solution.
that.
What's not a real solution, Radio? Take it. Woo! Ain't got no clicks left. Hacking server.
Got greedy. I agree, banning automated trucks is not a long-term solution. It is a temporary solution at best.
Yeah. Anytime people try to, artificially maintain labor markets, it's just...
Anytime people try to artificially maintain markets.
Yeah. Fucking... Whoa, I didn't know we were anarcho-capitalists here. I'd say
tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek. Oh yeah, certainly. All artificial intelligence is getting... Well, all technology is getting exponentially better. Or at least that's what I say within my bubble.
I think it's largely been proven true that access to technology and access to information has gone up exponentially. Certainly has in my life. I think that I've blown myself out of this game, by the way.
Possibly. Highly possibly. What are those paper clips? I don't want you to have that. You can't have nice things. 22. Don't install it over something. Oh, got it in there.
Radia, yes, I would.
What is the differences that you have in your deck, Radia, to the deck that you've seen so far inside Mox Walls?
I am not really sure how I'm going to get out of this pickle. I still have a while, though, right? I still have a while. I'm going to drop this Wireless Net Pavilion. I'm going to draw. I'm going to drop that, and I'm going to gain 2 credits.
Ooh, interesting. One of the things that's interesting about how these recursion decks relate towards Anarchs...
You mean the HB ones?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, when I refer to recursion, I presume that it's HB. Sorry, reading radios. Okay, that makes sense. Is that Anarchs usually burn through the entirety of their decks, and so it then puts them in a position where they can't match the recursion. Mm-hmm. So, like, they very much have to win in early mid-game.
Yeah.
Which, thankfully, that's the reason why Apocalypse exists.
I had a real shot on that last counter surveillance. I goofed it, got a little greedy, didn't plan in the most conservative way.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, both of us weren't aware of the specific wording of the card, so, like...
Well, no, I meant when I ran R&D and had the opportunity to access all that stuff, and then just kind of didn't.
Oh, yeah, because you weren't able to get through the cute little Eli over there?
All the mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Eli. Yeah. Not being on the most wanted list, so good.
Yeah, it's really incredibly powerful card.
It's terrible by itself, though.
It's not terrible, like, in a vacuum.
Well,
as a single card, it's a very powerful single card.
Correct. I personally, speaking anecdotally, have been in so many positions where the opponent, I've just had, just that ice in front of something important, and the opponent is just like, click through and account siphoned me, or click through and then, accessed in a couple agendas with like a legwork.
I see what you mean. It's porous. It has that downside.
Yeah. Correct. But in tandem with other ice, it's definitely great. Like, you put it with 1 to 2 ice, and then you've 2 ice, I'd say you transfer it from being a taxing to be a...
Radio, we're talking about Eli.
Eli right now. I mean, Fairchild 3.0 is just great. Like, it's just great. In my opinion, it's the best of all of the Fairchilds. Because Fairchild 1, you just end the run, because all of its subroutines can be turned into end the run. Fairchild 3 is the only one that has bite that's above Eli range, or Yogg range. Yeah, no contest. I mean, they're all good cards, but... Can I just end my turn?
Ice is not a filler part of your deck. Ice is not the fluff. I think that was another skew that the designers weren't anticipating. I think they thought ice would be kind of a fluff, like, yeah, you throw some ice in there, it'll be good. But it has things that you do. Like, every piece of ice you res has to get a lot of work done in terms of taking money away from the runner or punishing them for running at this particular moment.
Oh, for sure.
Eli does that incredibly well. Mm-hmm. Really, all the Bioroids do. Code Gates kind of suffer because of Yogg, as we were mentioning.
Yeah, but, Yogg isn't... It's played within Anarch, but usually it's like a 1 or a 2. And if you have some type of Sentry program trash, then you can, more effectively get past that. Or if you have, like, Sandberg... I don't know, there's been a lot of things that have been able to modify strength of Ice. So I think the days of, Yogg's so good... You have 2 of those in your deck?
I have 2 of those in my deck.
Wow. I specifically did not target your counter surveillance because I was under a false impression. Nice spicy 2 of. Yeah,
well, that'll teach you. Now you know.
Yeah, I'm taught. I'm taught in two different definitions. I'm taught as in I'm tight, and also tight with frustration. And I'm also taught as in you just taught me and passed, or teach me.
You got learned, is what you did.
Yeah, thank you.
Dropping some real knowledge bombs. I'm a big fan of double levy.
Yeah.
I think Bull Moose has a real home in this deck.
Oh, definitely.
Biotic Labor. You have the game here, potentially?
I mean, if I had a 5 for 3, then yes. But I just have an accelerated beta test. Woo! And because I've used Jackson a couple of times to get agendas out, I'm just not going to fire that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
seems pretty wise.
Yeah. It seems rational, almost.
What's the realest ABT you've ever seen?
Realist as in successful or as in non-successful?
Oh, I mean, as in successful. 3 pieces of ice, 2 Janices and a Heimdall 2. I mean, what's it been?
Well, I didn't get this. So, I was playing against a deck that was Au Revoir. It was that BIOS girl, the new shaper, and it was Au Revoir. Oh yeah, totally. Either that or you can just like snap it as a URL inside here, and then that way anyone who sees this video can take that URL if they want to spend the time typing it out. It was that Au Revoir, and then it was Turing Wheel, so it was just like, I'm just gonna get a crazy economy because I keep snitching on this unres piece of ice. I got 1 piece of ice inside an accelerated beta test, and I already had a piece of ice resed on HQ. I could have put it on R&D. I did not put it on R&D. I was a dang fool to not put it on R&D, because he ended up, continuing that to then win. So, that would have been the realist. Because at that point, I was undefeated in regionals, going out of Swiss, having won 6 games in a row. So much caffeine. A little bit of Adderall. A lot of breathing meditation. And, in the background, I had Eye of the Tiger going on.
It's the Eye of... I shouldn't do that. I don't have the rights for that.
Yep. YouTube will demonetize your video and then promptly send it to its squad. Okay. Well, judging from the fact that I actually want to use Clone Separate Union.
Oh yeah, you got it with another agenda in hand.
I haven't drawn yet, so we'll find out.
Don't draw any agendas.
Next turn on. All right. Well, GG.
No.
No.
This is my first time playing this deck, and I certainly goofed more times than I would like to admit, but this was a really fun deck.
Yeah, no. That early mid-game, you very well could have won.
And there was, different avenues along, different lines of attack. Do I want to deal with this